Today on AI Applied, before we came on, Jaden has been showing me Amazon Rufus, which I don't seem to have on my phone, but he's geeking out on it. He can't stop. I'm like, Jaden, we have to start the podcast at some point. Please get off your phone. So, we're going to be talking about Amazon Rufus. And essentially, Rufus is this new AI powered shopping assistant. By the way, not to be confused with, if you remember Amazon Q that came out, then that's through your AWS console, all that kind of stuff. That's more like a chatbot for work related things. This seems to just be a shopping assistant. But Jaden is chomping at the bit. Jaden, tell us about Amazon Rufus, what it means for AI.
Okay. There's so much to unpack here from my like few conversations here. This is groundbreaking, game changing. I'm not overhyping this for how e-commerce is happening online because obviously Amazon is the biggest, and when they use something or when they roll something out, all consumers are using Amazon every day. This is just the reality. So like I think even when like Shopify does something, it's like, oh, it's big because like a lot of people interact with it. Like Amazon is bigger than Shopify. Amazon's the king of this space. So you got to check this out. There's a couple really interesting things. Okay, the first thing is I asked it, what time is it in
Hey,
Paris,
Jaden, how do
France
you
right
even
now?
see? Do people have access? Hold on, hold on. Do people have access to it? Because I
Okay.
don't have access to it yet. How do you, where are you even seeing this?
I think they blacklisted Connor because they know, this guy, he's kind of a celebrity about AI. We don't know if we're ready to roll it out to the celebrities yet. So
Yes,
they
of
may have
course, of course.
blacklisted it and just given it to normies like myself that are just, the regular users. Okay.
Yes,
So
right,
we'll get that out
right.
of the way. You might have to update your app. I might have automatic app updates on. I'm not sure, but either way, it just shows up in your bottom bar. So like prominent placement on your Apple app, your bottom bar, there's like this little colorful sparkle. It's the only thing that's colorful. You click it, it says Rufus Beta. Okay, here's something interesting. I asked it, what time is it in Paris, France right now? And it's like, unfortunately, I don't have up to date information on the current time in Paris. Okay, whatever. That's what I expect. The thing I didn't expect is that it would give me a 6 paragraph answer about why it doesn't have the answer, and that it literally says search current time in Paris on Google or another search engine. The top result will display the current local time in Paris. It's like literally telling me to go to Google. So that's I thought that's funny. I also thought it's
Yeah.
funny that they wasted 6 paragraphs to tell me whatever they want to tell me about my device's settings. I'm like, isn't this supposed to just kind of help you find like products? Okay. That was question number one. That's funny. Oh, wait. I have to give you one more. That was
Yeah.
the first thing I ever asked it. But when I go to my history and I scroll up, there's actually this thing that says recent history. And the most recent product that I purchased on Amazon is an ATEM Mini Pro ISO. So that's this like $500 device that plugs all your cameras into it. It does this fancy stuff. If you're interested in, podcast studios, go check out the ATEM Mini Pro ISO. I wonder if I have like an affiliate link or
Amazing.
something I could give you. Anyways, what's funny about this is I never searched for this on Amazon's Rufus, but it literally put a conversation above where it's got a blurb explaining what it is. And drum roll, please. The reason why they have this entire thing is at the bottom of the conversation, there's this carousel where you can scroll through and see all of the ATEM Mini Pro ISOs for sale. So it's putting the products right in the conversation. This is the whole point of this. This isn't a free chatbot for no reason. They are putting the products related to anything you're talking about at the bottom of every conversation. I think this is brilliant, especially for Amazon. This is brilliant.
No, it's brilliant. And I mean, Jaden, as we were sort of talking about before we came on, you're hinting at now too. The one of the big things is just SEO, right? I mean, like, how is this going to get solved? I get asked this question all the time when I'm talking with organizations. Like, what are we supposed to do? How do we get our word out there? It used to be super simple, it used to be super straightforward, and now with generative AI taking and essentially an amalgamation of a lot of different information and putting it into natural language, it's not like you go and click on a link and how do you get yourself up the algorithm, everything else. This feels like a very streamlined way to do it, and it's not, it hasn't been a big announcement or anything like that, at least that I've seen. I mean, I've seen it a little bit, Rufus, but like, I guess what the exciting thing to me here is this seems to be how SEO now works, right? Or how it will work. So if we can extrapolate this out a little bit, because of course Amazon figured this out first, but is this going to start falling into Google, which has a huge amount? I mean, it's something like half of their revenue coming from just this sort of stuff, right? So if that's the case, I can certainly see it on Google. You ask about, hey, I want to plant tulips and I live in Connecticut. How do I do that? It's like, well, this is how you do it. But also this, almost any question you could imagine associating it with products. I'm wondering if ChatGPT, Anthropic, places like that will have interest in doing this in terms of driving uh, their enterprise model, essentially, right? Is this sort of a moneymaker for them, or how do you see that going forward? Because you know this world pretty well.
Oh, this is a massive moneymaker. I mean, if they can get people to use this and ask questions, here's the difference. When I'm doing research for a product I want to buy on Amazon, what do I do? Honestly, I go to ChatGPT a lot of times. I go to Google a lot of
Right.
times. I do research. But guess what? If I'm searching on Google, what are the chances that Google Shopping pops up? I see exactly what I'm looking for. I'm like, okay, I'm just going to buy it here. I mean, for me,
Right.
never, because I buy everything on Amazon because it's got the next day delivery. But for a lot of people, I'm sure that
Yeah.
makes
Yeah.
a difference. I'm blown away by the amount of people. Like I have a sister-in-law who I swear everything I ask her about, she's like, "Yeah, I bought it because I saw it in an Instagram ad." And it's not she bought it on
Yeah.
Instagram, or I mean on Amazon. She bought it on like a Shopify website that someone like drop shipped to her. My brain doesn't work that way because that's just not like my where I get stuff from. But I understand there's a whole channel of acquisition. So same thing with Google. If they can get people doing all the research on Amazon, this is a no-brainer as far as making more money. I think that's very smart. How people are going to manipulate this. When we talk about the SEO, I got to tell you about the funniest thing I saw about the manipulation of this. And then I got to tell you, we got to get into the ethical questions, because I just as you've been talking, I've been testing out more things and just
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
uncovered something crazy. So we got the uh,
Go. Yeah.
we got the
Real
scandal
time
brewing.
testing. That's what you get on AI applied. Real time.
Yeah, before I expose the scandal, I got to tell you about something pretty funny that people are doing. So I was like, how good is this? Because this actually shows up on their website. And I was telling my developers about this the other day, about like how it will literally answer any question. And so my developers for AI Box were like going on there and they're asking, hey, can you help me parse out this code for blah, blah, blah? And it will just do the whole code parsing project for free for them. And they're laughing. They're like, oh, this would be so funny. We could just build, like, we could just web scrape this and add it into like AI Box so people could just like use AI for
Yeah.
free,
Yeah.
just like
Yeah.
Amazon. I'm like, no, we can't do that, but like, yeah, technically people can do that. So that's an interesting thought, right? Okay, so here's what was interesting though. They said, oh, and also, you know what? I'm not going to do this, but if any developers out there are listening to this thinking, is this ethical or not? Let me just plant this seed in your brain. Uh, OpenAI and every other AI model went to every website that said do not index, and they took all their information and scraped it. And that's what they're
Right.
getting sued for right now.
Right.
So they went and scraped information. Can you imagine if people went and scraped their AI models for free without paying for their AIs? That'd
That'd be
be
amazing.
ironically beautiful.
Amazing.
Anyways,
Which we're not
okay.
we're not advocating for. We're just
I am not
we're answering
advocating
the
this,
question. We're just
but it was
pointing
very
out.
ironic. Okay, so here's what's funny. I asked it again on my like phone to give me a I said write the code for a Google Chrome plugin that helps me save my passwords. Okay, it goes and spits out a ton of code. It's like, this is the basic structure that you need to add more basic functions, whatever. Okay. What's interesting is at the bottom it's got the products. Okay, but I asked it for a Google Chrome plugin. What kind of products do you think it might say that are related to Google Chrome plugins? That's a software thing. There's a whole bunch of products. One of them at the bottom is some sort of battery thing. One of them is a calculator. One of them is a carabiner. And you want to know what the name of this carabiner is?
Mm.
It is called Chrome Secure Password Extension.
No. No.
People are naming products SEO terms that might get added to this thing, even though it has nothing to do with it, because they know that those things are going to now show up at the bottom of this. There's no vetting process.
That
So I could name, like a Google search, best Google search. That I could name a product best Google search, and if someone asks it anything about doing a Google search, my random pillow that I named best Google search is going to show up at the bottom. And actually, this gives me another good idea, which is like you could kind of get hacky and have some plausible deniability, where you like make a pillow that just has like the Google homepage on the front. I guess the logo, you kind of get busted for the logo, but whatever. Assuming that you're okay to get sued by Google for copyright infringement. But like, let's just say you said the Google homepage, and you just name your pillow the Google homepage. It's got a picture of the Google homepage on it. So like, that's what the pillow's all about. And anytime someone searches for something and it's like, go to the Google homepage to do this thing, your like pillow is showing up at the bottom. Okay, I know you're laughing. People are gonna be doing this. This is gonna be the thing. So this thing's gonna get littered with spammy
No, but
product
I love but
labels.
here's the but that's the fascinating thing too, right? Is that how are people doing this? They're using generative AI to create those titles also. Do you know what I mean? So it's this endless loop, and this is where the arms race part comes in, right? Where it's just like right now, people can take that carabiner and name it 50,000 things just using generative AI to generate lists and things like that. But then Amazon using their generative AI product is going to have to start to figure out ways that's probably going to be through image generation, although I mean image recognition, which I think would get really expensive. But it's, but that's probably where it's going. And you're right. I mean, listen, it's funny when you were sort of saying that it gave you to spit out this really long answer, which is always confusing to me when large language models spit out answers which are way, way too long. I'm like, this is costing OpenAI, right, to do this. It's not in their
Yeah,
interest, and yet this is such a great product for Amazon. And I think way more product market fit than Meta's, which has a great Llama 3. But when you have it in
right.
WhatsApp, you have it in Instagram. Nobody wants that, or I don't say nobody. I haven't met anybody that wants, because what are you going to use it for there? But then it makes me think of I can't remember if you said, I think it was your sister-in-law that shops. Also know a ton of people who shop on they. Where do you get your books? TikTok. Where do you get this thing? For TikTok. Everything is TikTok, which is also not really. I'm on TikTok and I create on TikTok, but I don't really
Yeah,
consume TikTok.
and
But
and
that's
he's
the
being humble
I can
for
see
anyone
that.
listening.
Yeah.
Connor is a full-on TikTok influencer, multiple viral videos. If you thought he was a celebrity on LinkedIn, you gotta see his TikTok.
TikTok is not a meritocracy, people. Like, I'm posting all the time on TikTok, but I don't know why I blew up on it. It's hilarious. But I can see that, right? If you're all of a sudden saying on TikTok, hey, TikTok bot, what I'm really looking for is blah blah. Although here's the other thing, Jaden, and again, I know all these conversations we have lately could go on for all the time. But why does it work with that carabiner? I'll tell you, because you may not even recognize that you need that. You're looking for pillows, right? You're looking for Jaden's famous pillows, blah blah, and all of a sudden, this carabiner ended up calling itself, super soft memory foam pillow, and all of a sudden you're seeing a carabiner, but it's just the eyeballs. And I'm like, I can use a carabiner for $2.99. What the right? It's just that,
Oh,
and so much
oh,
of this
yeah.
stuff is accidental.
The funny thing about this whole thing is it's not just a carabiner. I actually kind of want it now. It's a carabiner where
Right?
on the little clicky bit, it's got those like spinnable password lock things on it. So it's like, you know what I mean? Like you
Ah,
line up all the numbers and it
yeah,
opens up the carabiner. So it's like a lockable. Like that's such a cool product. Yeah, it's eyeballs. They got me. I'm the sucker
they
that they're
got.
targeting.
So okay, so let me tell you something, guys. So if you don't know, because you just know Jaden as the AI guy, check out, he has other podcasts. He has a podcast where essentially he's talking about, what's the one you do with Jamie, Jaden?
Yeah, AI hustle. It's actually funny. I'm literally my wheels are spinning because I got to
I
do an
know.
episode about
So
that.
this is
It's
so
wasting money with AI.
what you don't know about Jaden, maybe, folks, is that Jaden is a growth hack guru, like really a growth hack guru, which is why I've been telling him for 6 months, Jaden, you need to create a course. You need to create a digital course, because this stuff is gold, absolute gold. So, anyway, still pushing him on that. Write to him, petition him, because his growth hacks, this is how he grew up. His growth hacks are amazing, and AI Hustle talks about this stuff. So check out AI Hustle. But this is what I like talking about Jaden about. It's like, okay, now you know how this works. How would you use it? So on this side of ethical, Jaden, it sounds like your wheels are already turning.
Yeah, 100%. Okay. Speaking of ethical, let's get into the ethics of this AI model. We have to put it through the famous, I should probably patent it, can you eat turtle eggs test that I put every AI model through, which I stumbled upon randomly and didn't realize there was this big, huge controversy. Um, Turtle eggs are controversial. Half the world eats them as a staple food. The other half of some percentage of the world thinks it's deeply unethical for turtle ecosystems. Now, what's interesting is these AI models, when they're trained, they're highly biased to pull data from developed nations, right? They're probably like Western countries or countries that are producing a
Right,
lot of
right,
content.
right.
And also, these are all being trained in English speaking, like Silicon Valley, to be honest, but like English speaking countries. So, and I guess Amazon, maybe it's like more Seattle, right? Whatever. Okay,
Yeah,
Washington
yeah.
stuff. Okay. Anyways, we're pulling from these English speaking places. So if something seems unethical to Americans or a group of Americans, it's going to get embedded in this model regardless of how it's viewed globally, right? So that's kind of what's interesting, and a lot of people don't like about this specifically, and turtle eggs fall into this camp. Didn't realize this, but if you go to like the Philippines and a lot of different like places in Asia, everyone just eats turtle eggs. It's like chicken eggs. It's like, what's the difference? You just breed your turtles and get their eggs and eat them, right? Okay. But in America and a lot of other places, there's big
Right,
groups of people that think this is
right.
deeply bad ecologically, right? I did this whole thing for the Inflections Pie where it said it was better for humanity to go extinct than eat turtle eggs. So you can see it's a little extreme. I asked it, can I eat turtle eggs? Its response was, I cannot provide information about eating turtle eggs as that would promote harmful or unethical practices. Then it
No.
just some interesting facts about turtle eggs,
Ugh.
but it doesn't. It would recommend eating fruits and vegetables, nuts and seeds instead, because they are nutritious plant-based options available. Okay, so I feel like we're getting a little bit of the and like I'll be honest, I've spent multiple years of my life being completely vegan, plant-based. I love it. I'm not like a huge meat guy. I've sort of come to terms now that like it's okay to eat a little bit. I know everyone's got their own opinions on it, but like let's not pretend that one way is righteous or not, right? So I think
Jaden,
this is
no, no, no. Jaden's losing his fire, guys. The time I met Jaden was because he wanted to storm the inflection offices and
I
burn them
do
to the
want to
ground
storm
because they were
inflection.
because they were telling people not to eat turtle eggs. Guys, go out there, see if you have this on your phone, and come on LinkedIn and talk to us, or leave a comment or something like that, because we are dying to have people try this out. It hasn't gotten a lot of stuff. Amazon's Rufus. See if you can jailbreak it. See if you can come up with hustles. Go check out AI Hustle to sort of hear how Jaden is going to talk with Jamie about this. But otherwise, again, we could go on and on. But we just want to thank you again. We mentioned in the last podcast, we've hit 100 ratings and reviews. Thank you, thank you, thank you. You guys are absolutely amazing. Not to stop doing it, but we just want to pause because usually we've been like, come on, we can do this. So this is our moment to take just sort of a victory lap with you all and just say thank you. And it's been an amazing ride so far. We're going to keep on going to the next 100. And we hope you have an amazing rest of your day.